The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
The point of the Matrix probably is to raise questions about our world. It's to make us think about our own world in slightly different ways, and maybe to make us ask questions about what the real limits and bounds on our own behavior are. You know, you see the scene at the end of the first movie where everyone's moving around in a sort of trance-like way, and Neo seems to be the only one that in that sense is awake in the phone box. But that notion of awakeness seems to me more like a social and political notion.
I don't look at the story of the Matrix as being literally a story of man versus technology. It's much more about the robots and the machines and the computers represent rigid thinking, the institutionalized control which people generally allow themselves to be subjected to.
You have a social critique on the outside, dialectical materialism, it's sort of Marx filtered through Cornel West. But the irony is that in the Matrix, people are the means of production eventually. This great symbol of people being batteries. While they sleep, their bodies are actually batteries that power the city of the robots and this whole mechanical society. It's a very powerful symbol. Because people, you know, when they're completely asleep to what's going on around them, are exploited to that extent. They're giving up their very life force to run the society in a lot of ways. When we become passive consumerists, you know, we're surrendering our life force.
You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Cornel West has written about how black people can see themselves through white eyes. They don't see themselves with their own eyes as authentic human beings. They are viewing themselves through a framework of ideas given to them by the hegemonistic white society. I think that is an idea which the Wachowski brothers have really taken to heart and incorporated as one of the strands in this multiplex of prisons that people are breaking out of.
Most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
One ought to be suspicious of all forms of authority. One ought to be suspicious of all forms of obedience that require a certain kind of blind submission to authority.